It's obviously time to talk about the 49ers defense because we're standing on a moat. Who knew these things still existed with water in them? I've seen plenty of moats without water, but this one has very strong, modern, current fortifications. And by modern, I mean medieval. Still a good representation of the 49ers defense. They need to prevent offenses from crossing into town. That was in Montenegro. Now we're back under beautiful skies in Prague. Fair warning, every single 49ers defense update from now on might have to start with that, the moat. Anyway, more pressing topic. This is an I told you so update on Brandon Aiyuk. Mike Garofalo came out and said that it's all good between Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers. They're in a good spot. And I think all evidence has indicated that this is the case. I don't think it's rocket science, and I will say that I talk to people as well. I'm connected to the 49ers as well, and yes, Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers are in a good place. That's what I said the other day. The post from Brandon Aiyuk on YouTube community was referring to the media and some of the stupidity that we've seen floating around there regarding trade talks. Brandon Aiyuk tore his ACL and his MCL. 49ers aren't going to trade him for anything that makes any sort of business sense until he can demonstrate some health. And, beyond that, the importance of Brandon Aiyuk to this football team, the X-receiver position to this football team, was illustrated in both 2023 when Aiyuk was healthy and delivered the career year, and 2024 when he wasn't in great shape and then he got hurt and generally wasn't available to the 49ers, and they ranked dead last in the league in terms of average separation per reception. So the X-receiver position for San Francisco really, I think, is vital to unlocking the health of the entire offense and the pass game. And in the case of Brandon Aiyuk, he's also a very, very good run blocker. And the 49ers love that. They think that when he's healthy, when he's right, he is a glue piece to this offense, and they're going to let him get healthy and let him get right, and they're going to hope that he adds one of the missing pieces that the 49ers didn't have to this offense last year. It's as simple as that. Aiyuk is in a good headspace regarding the task ahead, and I think that the 49ers recognize that this is their only logical option moving forward, given the fact that the contract has a lot of injury guarantees, and it's water under the bridge. It's been signed, and now the 49ers have to make the most of things moving forward. All right, we're going to talk about defense. We're on a nice defensive position right here. We're on the high ground. Take a look. This is the part of Prague that tourists often probably won't see. We're near the middle of Prague, but we're looking out toward the south, so you see some taller buildings. See that bridge crossing over there? The bridge is crossing over a valley, and there's actually cars on top, and the subway runs in a tunnel on the bottom side of the bridge. Anyway, beautiful blue skies. Big time heat wave about to hit a lot of Europe. We're flying somewhere else today. Location to be revealed in a little bit, and once that happens, I think it's going to be over 90 degrees, and let's just hope they have a lot of air conditioning where we go. I talked about the moat and the 49ers defense because, that's really what we should be focused on. When we look at an overarching appraisal of this 49ers roster, the offense was still a top 10 unit last year. And they had a lot of problems that I think they're going to be able to fix, like with Aiyuk back at some point, with Christian McCaffrey back especially. The separation issue should be fixed. I think that McCaffrey will also help a lot of the running issue, which will set up better separation because the 49ers will have more leverage later on. Brock Purdy's a really good quarterback. They have him signed. 49ers are locked, loaded, ready to go on the offensive end. Even if the receiver depth starts out sketchy at the start of the year, the 49ers, I think, have more offensively with McCaffrey back in the fold. And by the way, McCaffrey looks like he's in fantastic shape. They have more offensively than they did last year to such a significant degree that I would almost think that decent health, they're a shoo-in to be a top 10 offense in 2025, given the stability they have at the quarterback position. But it's defense where the bottom fell out last season, where they were not able to maintain the moat, where they probably didn't even build the moat. They didn't have city walls last year. The 49ers, the run defense fell off so precipitously, and I'm going to be writing in depth on this at the San Francisco Standard. The run defense over the past 2 years just cratered to such a level that the 49ers foundationally were not able to dictate anything that they wanted defensively. They completely lost their identity defensively. And you bring back Robert Saleh to regain some of that identity. You double down on the rediscovery of that purpose by allowing Robert Saleh to hire Gus Bradley, who was the first defensive coordinator of the Legion of Boom in Seattle. Mix him into the fold. So, it's one of those things where and I talked a little bit about this when we were down in the former Yugoslavia. I think we were walking through Kotor or one of those cities, but the 49ers brain power at the top of the defensive unit is so much more experienced and so much more rooted in what they actually want to do than it had been in the past. And they gave these guys a lot to work with through the NFL draft, finally replenishing some of that defensive line. I mean, they hadn't used big-time draft capital in the D-line in quite some time. Javon Kinlaw was a first-round pick way back in 2020. Drake Jackson, as much as you want to say, it was a second-rounder in 2022, well, it was pick number 61. It was way down at the bottom of the second round. So a unit that had constantly filtered in top-tier talent, highly graded talent over the years, the early years of the Shanahan-Lynch era, that had relatively dried up. And I think that the 49ers had started to see some of that erosion in the play of their defensive line. Erosion at linebacker, I think the big issue at linebacker had been health or lack thereof, right? Even last year, Fred Warner with the ankle fracture, he played on it for 3/4 of the season, but he wasn't playing at the same level that he had been playing at for the first 4 weeks. Dre Greenlaw obviously was only available for 34 snaps. Devondre Campbell literally walked off the field. Ironically, the 49ers were stronger at cornerback last year than they were at any other position last year, right? I mean, cornerback was the bright spot of this football team between Deommodore Lenoir and Renardo Green. Now they need to make sure that they have that third cornerback situation buttoned up, but they worked on that this offseason. Either Trey Brown or Upton Stout. We'll see if they run Upton at the nickel or if it's Trey Brown coming in outside, kicking Deommodore Lenoir inside. I mean, there's so many different ways and different options that they've given themselves to make this work on the defensive side of the ball. It's like new look, yet return to roots simultaneously for the 49ers, right? Michael Williams, somebody who might reprise the Eric Armstead role, setting that edge, improving the run defense. C.J. West reprising the D.J. Jones role. Somebody like Alfred Collins with the 7-foot-plus wingspan maybe reprises the DeForest Buckner role. But you're looking at run defense first and then moving into that linebacker unit with Nick Martin. Maybe he can reprise the Dre Greenlaw role. You just hope that there's more durability for the 49ers, especially this next year, coming off of the injury-held 2024, so they can get back into that defensive rhythm. But more than anything, they've got the coaching staff to lead the schematic charge to get the guys that they have into the right spots. That's what's going to be so exciting about training camp for the 49ers, is that they've got all the puzzle pieces now. Now they have to start putting those puzzle pieces into the correct spot. There's going to be some trial and error. There's going to be developmental growing pains. Some guys may be busts. Some guys may be surprise stars. It's all stuff that's going to be determined over the course of the next few months. And rookies report on July 15th. So one last look at this very, very beautiful sky. We're off to the next spot. So we had a nice Brandon Aiyuk update. And yeah, of course, we got to talk about the defense and the moat. The 49ers and that moat, the fortification has to be strengthened, has to be reinforced, and they've done a lot of the work so far this offseason, but the biggest part of that work is coming up. Maybe we're catching a train next. Wonder where that guy's going to. Or maybe we're on a flight. We'll talk to you guys very soon.